If you've been told you can rank without backlinks and you're still on page 3, this is for you. By the end of this video, you'll open any Google result and tell whether you can take number 1 with 0 links. In about 5 minutes, not guess, tell. 4 things you look at on each result, 1 number you count. No tools, no subscription, no budget. Here's what everyone ranking for this question tells you. Ahrefs runs a study proving pages rank with 0 links. Then says, and I'm quoting, "You'll run out of worthwhile topics to target fast." Then points you at their link building playlist. Surfer gives you a 3-step playbook where step 3 is clusters plus links. Their own words on timing, several months of full-time work, and even then there's no guarantee. There's a podcast episode that gets closer than anyone. It defines a non-competitive keyword properly in 1 sentence, then moves on. Then the host reaches how you actually find those keywords. The answer is a 13.5-hour course, $500. So the consensus answer to why you're not ranking is money. Buy links, buy a retainer, buy a course, or spend months you don't have. Let me show you someone this is happening to right now. Small business-to-business video editing agency, Bootstrapped. He posted this 2 weeks ago, and the whole thing is worth reading because you might recognize yourself in it. Site's technically clean, all pages indexed, schema in place, fast, no manual actions, content's decent. Service pages, comparison pages, a blog cluster, free tools. The free tools actually rank top 10 and they bring most of his clicks. But tool users aren't buyers, and every commercial keyword he cares about sits between positions 17 and 50. The impressions are there, the demand is real, he's just nowhere near the clicks. Then the line that made me want to make this video. Total backlink profile, 102 links, and most of those are automatic podcast directory links. So basically no real links. And quote, cash flow is tight, so hiring an agency or buying links is not an option right now. Not looking for magic, just want to hear what actually worked for people at the no budget stage. He is doing everything the videos told him to do. He's stuck. And the one lever they all point at is the one lever he doesn't have. Here's what nobody in that thread said to him, and nobody in those videos says either. Backlinks decide who wins a query people are fighting over. They don't decide whether anyone is fighting. 2 different questions, and almost everyone answers the second by measuring the first. You look at link counts or a difficulty score built from link counts and you conclude it's hard. What you never checked is whether those 10 results are even aimed at what you typed. Because Google has to return 10 results whether or not 10 good ones exist. When nothing is actually built for your query, it settles. It pulls in the closest thing it can find. A homepage that mentions the words "a best of listicle" about something adjacent. Those results look strong, big brands, real link profiles, but they were never built to answer your search. And a page that wasn't built for the query is a page you can beat with one that was. So stop asking how strong these pages are. Ask whether the seat is actually taken. I call it the vacancy test. Every result in a top 10 is one of 2 things. Aimed at your query, meaning somebody built that page for that search, or merely present, meaning Google had a slot to fill. Aimed is a fight, present is a vacancy. You tell them apart with 4 slots. When somebody builds a page for a search, the search goes in 4 places. The page title, the words in the URL after the domain, the H1, the big heading, and the opening sentence of the body copy. That's it. You're not judging quality and you're not judging links. You're reading intent, and intent leaves fingerprints in those 4 spots. Score each result out of 4, 2 or more slots carrying your phrase, it's aimed, 0 or 1 merely present, then count how many of the 10 are aimed. 0 to 2 is a vacancy, take it with no links at all. 3 to 5 is contested, winnable, but you'll need the best page on the SERP and your internal links pointed at it. That's what topical authority actually buys you. It doesn't win vacancies, it wins contests. 6 or more, occupied. Links decide that one. Let's run it start to finish, so you can do this tonight. Step 1, write down the query the way your buyer would type it, not the way you'd like to rank. This matters more than anything else in the test because the test measures targeting, and targeting is phrase specific. Unlimited video editing service and video editing agency are not the same search. One can be wide open while the other is a war. Step 2, open a private window so your history doesn't color the results. Set your location if the query is local. A local search from the wrong city gives you somebody else's top 10. One thing to know before you start, results shift by location, by date, and by who's asking. I pulled the same search 4 ways today and got 4 different lists. So score the page your buyer sees and rerun it before you commit real work. Ignore the ads in the map pack. You want the organic results, usually about 10. Step 3. The scoring loop. Slot 1 is the page title, the blue link text you're already looking at. Does your phrase appear in it? Not a synonym, not the general topic. The phrase or an obvious variant. Plural instead of singular is fine. A different word order is fine. Something that merely covers the same subject is not. Slot 2 is the URL slug, the words after the domain. This is the most honest signal on the page. Nobody types a phrase into a URL by accident. /unlimited video editing is a deliberate act. And notice what a bare domain tells you. A homepage has no slug. A homepage carries a brand, not a query. That's your biggest source of vacancy in commercial searches. Most people score it as a strong competitor because the brand is big. Slots 3 and 4 need you to open the result. Slot 3 is the H1, the big heading at the top. 9 times out of 10 you can just read it. If you can't tell, right-click, view page source, and search for angle bracket H1. Slot 4 is the opening sentence of the actual body copy. Not navigation, not a cookie banner, first real sentence. Let's score one properly, and let's take the hardest looking one, position 1. A-1 concrete leveling Buffalo. In business since 2007, title carries the phrase hit, but it's a homepage, so no slug. Miss. The H1 says Western New York's original and most experienced concrete leveling company. No Buffalo in it. Miss. First line is about pricing. Miss. 1 slot out of 4. The number 1 result on this search is merely present. 2 rules that catch people out. First, superlative listicles count as aimed. 10 best unlimited video editing services in 2026 is aimed at unlimited video editing services. The best in the year are decoration. Strip them, and if what's left is your phrase, it counts against you. People skip listicles thinking that's not a real competitor. It's holding a seat, so it's real. Second rule, and this one costs people money. A brand whose name contains your keywords still scores. A -1 concrete leveling Buffalo gets the title slot by accident of what they named themselves. It counts as a hit, but it's 1 slot, not a verdict. Score the brand exactly like everyone else and let the count decide. The test measures what's occupying the seat, not whether occupying it was clever. Now, the part the other videos never reach, because they never build the count. When your number lands in the contested band, the count alone isn't enough. Add up every slot across all the results. Call it slot density. 4 results at 2 slots each is a soft page. 4 results at 4 slots each is a wall. Same count, completely different fight. Density tells you whether contested means try harder or go elsewhere. And here's when the test doesn't hold, because a rule you can't break is a rule you don't understand. It breaks on your money or your life queries. Health, finance, legal. Google gates those on trust before targeting, so treat the thresholds as one band stricter. It also breaks when one platform owns the whole top 10. 10 Reddit threads, 10 Amazon pages. You're not competing on targeting there, you're competing on format. One more limit, and it wastes the most time. The vacancy test tells you whether you can rank. It tells you nothing about whether ranking is worth anything. A wide open query with no commercial intent is traffic and no money. So run it second on queries you already know a buyer types. Vacancy on a keyword nobody buys from is a cheaper way to waste a month. Let me run it on one of mine so you can check every number yourself. Concrete leveling Buffalo, 10 organic results, 3 of them are aimed. Slot density 12, and most of that is single slots. Titles carrying the phrase and nothing underneath. That's a contested page, but a soft one, and my site is sitting at number 2 on it. Now score my own page the same way, because this is the part that's useful. Title carries the phrase, hit. It's a homepage, so there's no slug, miss. And the H1 says your concrete only level. It's a nice line, it carries none of the query, miss. 1 slot out of 4. I'm at number 2 on an exact match domain and a title, on a page where almost nobody else filled their slots either. Now the query next door. Sunken driveway repair Buffalo NY. Same city, same buyer, different words. Not one result in that top 10 carries that phrase in its title or its URL. Not the national brands, not the local firms, not Yelp. Google is filling 10 slots with the closest concrete leveling pages it can find, because nobody built a page for what that person actually typed. And here's the part that made me want to teach this. My driveway page is sitting at number 4 in that vacancy, and it isn't aimed there either. It's aimed at driveway leveling Buffalo NY. It's ranking on that other search by accident because the seat was empty. That's what a vacancy looks like from the inside. If I aimed a page at that phrase properly, 4 slots, I'd take it, with no links. So here's tonight. Take the one keyword you most want, the one you've been failing at. Private window, search it, score the results on the 4 slots, and write the countdown. Then read it like this: 6 or more aimed, stop building links. You didn't lose a link race, you picked a fight, and no amount of money was going to fix that choice. 3 to 5, check the density before you commit a single month. If your number comes back low, 0, 1, 2, and you're still not ranking, links were never your problem either. Now the test points the other way. Score your own page on the same 4 slots: title, slug, H1, opening sentence. Most of the time you'll find a 1 or a 0. You wrote about the topic. You never aimed at the query. Fix your 4 slots first, because that's a free afternoon, not a budget. If you keep one thing from this, keep this. Backlinks decide who wins a query people are fighting over. The slot count tells you whether anyone's fighting. One of those questions costs money and months. The other one is free and takes 5 minutes, and almost nobody asks it. Ask it first, and most of the time you'll find you never needed the links at all. So that's the whole thing. I just taught you the vacancy test, start to finish, and it costs you a browser tab. Nothing's behind a paywall. There's nothing to buy to make it work. If you want to do this faster, there's a system around it and a few hundred people running the same play. That's the Search Gap community. Link below. And the free AI prompt that scores a top 10 for you is in the description and the pinned comment. One last thing worth sitting with. Once you can see vacancies, you notice where they come from. Almost every one exists because somebody couldn't be bothered to put an awkward phrase in a title, which means most vacancies close quietly the moment one person does. The ones that stay open for years are the phrases nobody wants to write down. Those are the ones worth going to find.